Are you comfortable with that kind of language from the President of the United States, from the guy sitting in the Oval Office, publicly?
Well, which part of it? Which part of it? If we're talking naughty words, I don't care. I didn't elect Donald Trump because I thought he was a pastor. I didn't vote for him because I think even necessarily that he's a devout Christian. I thought it was trolling. I actually laughed pretty hard at the praise be to Allah. I do think it was ill-advised to say whole civilization. And the reason why is because you see a lot of people, and this is, again, about applying it equally. Donald Trump has done a pretty good job, and certainly Marco Rubio, in delineating between the Iranian people and the regime. I think we probably agree there are very few governments, if any, that are in more diametric opposition to the people they govern than the IRGC and the Iranian people. I mean, we don't get very accurate polling out of there, as you tend to not get out of the Islamic world. The overwhelming majority of the Iranian people support the help, support the military intervention. Doesn't mean that it's our job, to be clear. That's a conversation to have stateside, domestically. But separating between the regime and the people is important. Donald Trump has done that consistently. He didn't do that with his phrase here. I definitely think that did him no favors. On the flip side, when I see people saying World War III, and I see people saying, he's killing innocent civilians, we're bombing brown people, we're killing Iranians, I go, well, hold on a second. You guys never delineate between the IRGC and the Iranian people. I also think that it's undergirded by the fact that, if remarkably inconsistent and ill-advised, he did say, God bless the Iranian people in that same post, which would seem to clarify and be consistent with what he just said 12 hours earlier. Right? People were offended. Keep in mind, 12 hours earlier, they said, do you think this is a war crime? And I think it's no, because they're animals and they killed 40. The number always goes up. Maybe 60, maybe 120,000 of their old people. Wow, they're animals. People said, I can't believe he would say that. But he did say, no, targeting military sites, targeting strategic infrastructure to do away with a totalitarian, and I would argue evil, satanic regime, the IRGC, is not a war crime because the people want it and support it.
But
doesn't mean that it's
so Stephen,
legitimate.
where does it sit with,
Yeah.
Trump, obviously the campaigner in 2024 was absolutely emphatic. I will not drag America into any more senseless wars, particularly in the Middle East. And here he is dragging America into the biggest Middle Eastern war he could possibly have dragged them into. Tucker Carlson has been blistering in his attack on it. Megyn Kelly has been blistering. You've got all these people on the right, Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's a real split on the conservative right in America, and it's really bubbled up and boiled over with the Iran war. Why do you think that is? Why? I mean, if you go back 20, 30 years, there would have been complete unanimity about a Republican strike of this nature. There would have been no split. But there's a real split here, ideologically, between what people believe they thought they were voting for and what they think they're getting from Trump.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's as big of a split with the voter as there are commentators. For example, my perspective has been I supported the strike on the enrichment facility. And I said, give this 3 months. And then I'll have to reassess it because I know there's information that I cannot have on Iran as it pertains to national security. I would say that would be due largely to their own ignorance because anyone who thinks that Donald Trump has been anything other than consistent, going back to the 1980s, which is kind of a marvel, the only reason we're able to have this long of a consistent track record for any president is because he was a celebrity. He's always said Iran cannot have a nuke. They will never have a nuke. That was what he said that day of that famous escalator ride. It was part and parcel of that speech. So anyone who thinks that Donald Trump being tough on Iran is a betrayal is simply uneducated and didn't listen to him. And you could also argue, and I think there are two reasonable sides on this issue. I don't think war criminal. I don't think genocide is one of them. You could argue that he's ending a 47-year war, and it's right in line with his promises. When I hear people say, why would we strike Iran? They've never done anything to us. You hear that a lot. Many, many, many Americans, hundreds, if not over 1,000, depending on the numbers, and they've pledged to kill many more. It comes down to that discussion and when you want to deal with this issue.